Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome into the Sunday night live edition of The Real with Joseph Labin. I am Joseph Labin. Welcome on in. Like I said there, if you're new here, please subscribe. Hit the like button for me. It's the best way you can help my channel out, help your boy out. Browns victory Sunday. Much different than last week when we were on here. Last week we came on here after that just absolutely depressing loss to the Cowboys. This week, complete 180, a lot different. Still a lot of things that got to clean up, but a win is a win. Like I said there in the thumbnail, Browns get it done today, 18-13 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Loaded show tonight. We got a lot of great guests going to be coming on here. We're going to get into a lot of things. I'm going to let the guests really talk tonight. You'll have your chance to join the show as well. You can either call in on the call-in line. I'll drop here in a little bit, or you can also join. You want to come up here on the panel, I'll drop the link. You join us via StreamYard, so you can come up here on the panel as well. My reaction to the game tonight, though, to start off, was Deshaun Watson looked a lot more comfortable this week. Better play calling by Kevin Stefanski, getting them the layups early. You know, the first drive was beautiful. I mean, 16 plays. I think it was 7 runs, 9 passes. They took 9 minutes off the clock. The stats from that drive as well. Right there, you can see. I'll put it full screen here. 1 second. Deshaun Watson, 7 of 8, 83 yards, average of 10 yards per pass, only sacked 1 time. Deontay Foreman, you can see there 5 carries, 1 carry from Deshaun, but 6 carries total. So an effort to run the ball. And Elijah Moore had a nice first drive. Jerry Jeudy got some targets, 2 for 2 for Jeudy. The same for Elijah Moore. David Bell had it rolling as well until he got hurt. Amari Cooper, though, we're going to get into him in a little bit. That's the only negative from this game is Amari Cooper. We'll get into him here in a little bit. But again, that first drive was beautiful. You could see there Deshaun Watson was flowing. Easy layups. I thought the defense was phenomenal in the first half. I thought Denzel Ward has had a phenomenal season so far. Completely locked down Gabe Davis and really took him out of the game. I thought JOK had a nice game. I thought Grant Delpit had a great game. The D-line is absolutely great for the Browns. We know that. They got great depth. So the Browns defense I thought was pretty good, and the offense kept going in the second half. I think the time of possession, dominating the ball, got the field goal, went into halftime up 10, feeling pretty good. The second half, a little different story. I thought the offense got a little stagnant. You know, I think the drop passes by the receivers in the second half couldn't really find that rhythm. The bad penalties and the sloppy play showed themselves again. I think, again, to me, when you don't play guys in the preseason, the first quarter of the season for you could be a little rough. You're going to have guys trying to get in shape, guys trying to get in rhythm. And, you know, you're kind of seeing that right now. The formation penalties, the holding penalties, kind of the offsides. You know, the one penalty in the first half by the kicker where, you know, he kicked the ball off and the Browns punched the ball and would have had the ball down in like the road at 20-yard line and would have been plus territory. But Dustin Hopkins right over the 50-yard line. So just little things like that you saw. But again, at the end of the game, you know, it came down to it. It was crunch time. I thought Deshaun led a beautiful drive down the field. Obviously got stalled again by bad penalties. And, you know, Deontay Foreman got the face mask in the first down. But you saw a flash from Deshaun Watson today. I thought it might have been his most complete game as a Brown from start to finish. Just as, you know, each drive ended with a kick, you know, either a field goal, extra point, or punt, which is what you want. And he shows flashes of old Deshaun from Houston. You know, it looked like Houdini out there, extending plays. You know, the one play he was running to the right side of the sideline and threw this crazy pass in the first half, the first drive to Jerry Jeudy. And then later on in the game, same thing to Jerry Jeudy. You're seeing Deshaun slowly get his confidence back. And I watched his post-game presser here a little bit ago. He just looked a lot more settled, a lot more calmer. You know, that's a good sign to see. I thought the game plan today was better for him to get his rhythm going. That was good. But I think overall, pretty good game for the Browns. But again, the biggest play of the game was Corey Bojorquez, the punter, with a hell of a punt down there on the 1 yard line. And then Alex Wright at the 3 tech. I love that when Schwartz moves him inside, completely blew up that guard, got the safety. And that's really what won the game for the Browns, was that stretch right there. The great punt. My only negatives from this game, like I said, was Amari Cooper. And then the bad, the Browns had the ball, and you just had the great punt. You just had the safety. It's 3rd and 6. And, Kevin Stefanski calls a play action pass. I get it. You're trying to catch him off guard. Rolls Deshaun Watson out left. He almost gets sacked. Almost could have been a bad play. Deshaun probably should have took the sack. But again, don't put your quarterback in that position. The guy that just hurt his shoulder last year, just hand the ball at the Foreman. Foreman might have got the 6 yards. But if you have to punt, your punter just showed what he just did. Just punt the ball. Again, each drive with a kick. That's like football rule. End each drive with a kick. That's all that matters. And I think defensively, you saw 11 of the ball all game, which is really good. I think what Schwartz has done with that unit in a year has been absolutely incredible. But that was my only negative, though, from that game, was just the play call there at the end. And then Amari Cooper has not looked like himself. I don't know if it's something from the offseason. He's still pissed about that stuff. He's half-hearted. He just does not look right at all. But like I said in the title there, a win is a win. So that's all I got for this game. I'm going to bring my guest up here now. I'm going to bring Michael K. Cabot first. Mike?
Hello. What is up? How is life?
What was your I'm gonna let you have the floor real quick, Mike. I'll let you give your take before I bring the rest of the guests up here, because we didn't hear from you last week, bud. There was people wanting to hear from you.
Oh, I know. I was not feeling great that day. It was week 1.
Yeah, you were at my house. You were not feeling good when you left. There, but also writer now for Roundtable Sports.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Let me give them a quick plug. A bunch of great guys. Bunch of great guys. Shout out to everybody. Chef Zay is actually our representative for the Cleveland Browns, but roundtablesports.net. That's roundtablesports.net. And once again, that's roundtablesports.net. Go ahead and give it a check out. Doesn't matter what fan you are, of what team. There's a creator out there for you. There's a bunch of really nice custom merch that we got going. And I am writing articles currently for them. I got 4 currently out. I just started a series called the Is Series that is covering controversial quarterback figures within the NFL. The first article was on Tua Tagovailoa. I'm really proud of that article. And the second one I'm cooking up right now is on 2023 first overall pick Bryce Young. So if you want a little bit of an in-depth kind of this guy,
Roscoe's in the back.
Yeah.
He's in the back. He'll be up here in a second.
But yeah, if you want to,
we got a very special guest join us tonight too. I could put these back on, Mike.
Oh yeah, the hater blockers.
The hater blockers on. But
I have them on. I have them on spiritually.
You spiritually. You have the floor, Mike, and then I'll bring the guest up. Go ahead, Michael K. Cabot.
But I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Deshaun had a much better game. I thought the protection, which was my biggest concern after week 1, even though Deshaun did not have a good game, the protection week 1 was awful. We had the last ranked offensive line, which is just not like this unit. So it was good for them to get out there. I know they played very, very sloppy with penalties. There's that drive in the second half where they got 3 holding calls in a row, and it was 3rd and 36, which is disgusting. But
still some sloppy play out there.
Yeah, still some sloppy play, but the protection overall was a lot better, even with James Hudson at left tackle. Jerry Jeudy and Elijah Moore both look good. I thought Jordan Akins played good enough. I agree that there should be a microscope on Amari Cooper. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't think it has anything to do with the contract, because if you're trying to earn that big money contract, well, if you want it from the Browns or from anybody else, you got to play well, because you're in a contract year, either for us or trying out for your next team.
I don't know if it's the Ayuk thing. He knew he was going to get traded. He just mentally,
I don't know.
He mentally doesn't look there to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Jerry Jeudy's been super impressive. I thought Elijah Moore, like I said, had a pretty good game.
Jerry Jeudy's looking like your top target right now.
Oh yeah, he's got the speed. He's only he had that huge conversion, that big gain that was like a 30-yard catch, and then 2 catches while Deshaun was scrambling that were really, really impressive. But he's got great body control. He's quick and twitchy. He's got a good eye for like getting into a position to help a quarterback while he's scrambling, which I don't think Amari really ever had in his bag for as good as he is. So I'm looking forward to seeing Njoku come back. But yeah, on the defensive front, I thought the defensive line played a lot, and they played great last week, but I thought they played a lot better. Even though Miles, and I know it's quiet, but I say Miles was quiet, but he had a sack and had a huge pressure rate.
I forgot to bring that play up. That was a big play in that game. And not to cut you off, but I thought the big 3 defensively, Miles, JOK, Ward, all 3 showed up big time today.
Oh yeah. Denzel Ward was locked down. You'd barely heard from Christian Kirk, I think is who they had him on all game pretty much. You really barely heard from him. I think most impressive was probably for me, JOK was huge in the run game. So was Grant Delpit.
Grant was great.
Jordan Hicks had himself a day as well. So I thought our linebackers played really, really well today in the run game and in coverage. Jordan Hicks actually played really well in coverage, which is surprising because he's, a 10-year NFL vet and he's never really been known for that. He's actually been historically bad at coverage as a linebacker.
Ronnie McLeod stepped in too and gave some nice minutes for him.
Oh yeah. Ronnie McLeod was playing well, especially considering like he had to be out there because Juan's on IR. So you had Ronnie Hickman, who I think developed a little bit, but he's still a UDFA in his second year, so you don't want to give him too much responsibility. But yeah, overall, I was surprisingly happy with our linebacker play. And I thought pressure rate was great. Quentin Big Q got a sack. Alex Wright had a sack and a safety. Myles Garrett had a sack. Sam Kamara had a sack that was taken away. And then Jordan Hicks had a sack on a blitz. So I think we put Trevor Lawrence in the ground and 5 or 6 times. So the pressure was there.
Sunshine was not sunshine today.
No,
Mr. Sunshine, pretty boy. He was not pretty. and Alex Wright blew that guard.
Alex Wright is working his way to a second contract. Alex Wright's he's developed into a really, really nice player. And I'm really happy about that because I was a big fan of him coming out of UAB. I know he was kind of like under the radar kind of guy, but he had all the intangibles, tall, really long arms, quick first step, but like just never really had the platform because, he played football at UAB, and they just got that football program back. And, he just didn't have really any of the platform or have any like really flashy plays, but he's been doing really well. So I was happy.
Before we bring the rest of the guests up here,
yeah.
What would you grade Deshaun today?
I'll give him a B+. I think it's a B+ is pretty fair. You were in enemy territory, and here, even though they were minus Tyson Campbell, who's their best DB, they still have a very, very good pass rush between Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon Walker. So. Yeah. They were able to do a lot versus that pass rush, which was really impressive.
Well, Mike, I got a very special guest joining us now. The producer for AMP, that's right, AMP, world famous AMP, 6.4 million subscribers. The producer for AMP, my longtime friend, my brother. Met him in high school. Him and I have been he's been one of my best friends since. Love Mike. And from Atlanta. From the A as well, from the real A, Akron, Ohio, from the real AC, from the 330. But Mike is in the house. Mike Matthews. Mike, what is happening?
Hey, definitely from Akron. Akron is
from the north side.
Right, absolutely. Hey, pleasure to be on. Thank you guys.
Appreciate coming on. Shout out to you. You've been killing it over there at AMP. Some awesome footage. I know I've enjoyed watching it as well. Great job as always. But your take on the Browns, Mike?
I hated that I missed the first part of the game. I was able to, get familiar with it before getting on the show today. But, I really want to echo the sentiment of Deshaun looking a little bit more comfortable. And that's all you can really ask.
Mm-hmm.
Like we keep saying, a win is a win. Those penalties, man, just killing me though.
Mm-hmm.
I think we lost over 100 yards, maybe 100
Yeah, I gotta pull
from this
that
game.
up. That's that. Yeah,
I
it was
think it was,
sloppy.
it was like 13 for 95 or something like that.
Yeah, and to me, a reflection of when you don't play in the preseason, you guys are out of shape. This is what happens.
Absolutely. It's definitely rusty, and you hate to start a
And it's
actual
a problem all across the league. And
Absolutely.
quarterback plays low. That's why last week it was 16 of the 32 quarterbacks threw for under 200 yards. When have you ever seen that?
Yeah,
Never.
for sure. I think the third and longs just being a constant thing. I hate seeing it as a football fan, especially as a Browns fan. Question for you guys: what do you think about them continuing to use Foreman? When Jerome Ford had a lot of great flashes in this game, I'm pretty sure Foreman was our lead rusher as far as carries.
Yeah.
I think, Mike, you can go first.
I think Deontay Foreman
has
it's a little bit more,
and Ford had 7. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I think Deontay Foreman is just a little bit more of kind of the bruiser back. Like he'll get you 4 or 5 yards on the first down. Like I love Jerome Ford, but he's a very feast or famine back. And especially in his NFL, even though they've been trying to fix his issues. One thing you'll notice with Ford, Jerome Ford, when he's out there, is he'll hesitate a lot. He won't be churning his legs, which is why they brought in Deuce Staley as the new running backs coach, was to try and fix that. Because that's been a huge problem with Ford, is he'll get the ball and then hesitate, and even if like the hole's not there, or if the gap's not there, he won't churn his legs to pick up 2, maybe like a yard,
Right.
At least not take a negative play. Deontay is just that classic bruiser back. Doesn't matter if there's a hole, if there's not, I'm gonna fight for 3 yards, I'm gonna fight for 4 yards. And I think he's just a bigger body to have out there in pass blocking situations. And I think they knew that at least this game, Jacksonville without Tyson Gamble was going to blitz a lot, which they did. So Deontay Foreman was pretty good out there in pass protection.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Foreman, when the teams load the box more, you put Foreman in, like more short down and distance. They were in a lot of short down and distance today too. A lot of 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts. So you put him out there. I like the QB sneaks with Jameis personally. I think it was effective today. But the one T formation they had, because that's funny. I ran T formation in elementary school. When the Jerome Ford, how many yards did he take that, Mike? All the way down to
I think it was a 50-yard run or something.
50, yeah, I mean, I like stuff like that. I watched Jerome Ford at college, Cincinnati, because Deshaun Debo was down there and Trey was down there. But I think Jerome Ford is much better going downhill, off tackle, more in the gap schemes, which they ran more of today. You're pulling the guards, pulling the tackles,
right,
really opening up that defensive line, making them move. They did more of that today. I think he's much better than that. I think Jerome Ford's also an underrated pass catcher. You didn't really see a whole lot of it today, but more check down, stuff like that, which will help Deshaun, because Deshaun, when he turns into Houdini, he's one way, he's over here, and then he's back over here. It makes something out of nothing, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over. But yeah, I mean, I would say that. But I like that they use Foreman more. I thought Foreman would have had a much better game if he didn't have that face mask penalty, and just some of the the holding penalties really did not help at all. But
definitely,
yeah.
And wanted to say, love to see Deshaun actually get in that end zone with
this.
Love to see him through the air, obviously, as a quarterback, and one drop in the end zone as well. But
yeah,
I really do like those flashes of Houston Deshaun. I hope to see more of that, times 10 as the season goes on. I think next week against the Giants, not looking way too far ahead, but I think that's going to be a fun one. The Giants have not looked the best at all.
No, nice little tune-up game.
Yeah, nice little tune-up game. It also might be a trap, so we'll see.
Dan says when Chubb returns, Deontay Foreman the backup for the Toronto.
Exactly, that's what I think.
Argue not. Mike, your take on that? You think he'll be out of here?
No, actually, when Chubb comes back, I actually think Jerome Ford gets pushed back a little bit, because then Chubb is going to take a majority of what Ford does. He's just better at it. Deontay Foreman, I mean, you're not going to have Jerome Ford out there on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 if you're going to run for a first down. You're going to have Foreman out there. He is that prototypical like Kareem Hunt, like bruiser back, like runs with reckless abandon, really doesn't do much else. I like Jerome Ford. I think he'll still be on the team for at least until his rookie contract is up. But like he's got a lot of stuff that has been prevalent since his rookie year that he really hasn't fixed, and it's still kind of prevalent so far this year, even with the new running back coach. So if he doesn't like fix that, I could see him going further down the depth chart. But
Mike, before I bring up the next, bring some more guys up here. What was your grade for Deshaun Watson today?
You know, I'll give him a good B. I think there were flashes, you know, getting in that end zone. I love to see stuff like that, but truthfully, this was a game won, and I love to see it as well by Dustin Hopkins. The real love to have a sure kicker. We see what happened to Cade York. Got traded and cut within a week. Longer.
Cade is just not having a good.
Yeah.
We're no longer in the Cade experience at all. Love having a sure kicker out there.
We didn't get our 7th round pick because they cut him, bastards.
Yeah.
What do you think too? I want to ask you. We hear Antonis all the time talk about Stefanski and the play call. It's like a big debate we get into on the show a lot. What did you think of Stefanski this week compared to last week?
You know, I'm satisfied with the play calling. I think a lot of our plays, a lot of our great drives, I hated to see the penalties. Like we talked about the 3rd and 36 that we were in. A lot of our great drives, I think, were just halted a little bit by penalties. So I think the play was satisfied. Like I was satisfied. It was okay. You know,
I think the only egregious one I thought was at the end of the game, rolling him out like that. That one, and I think he would take that back himself. I think he got a little too cute there, like some of these young coaches do. But yeah, I agree. Joining us now, Mr. Morosco's in the house. Roscoe, I know you're in the streaming and stuff too. So we got
Jalen Johnson,
producer from AMP up here tonight, my buddy Mike.
Going on, Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike, yeah.
What's that?
And then also we got Jersey in the house as well. Mike, my father, Jersey. I think you guys met that time
Mike,
years ago.
Mike
Nice.
Matthews, how are you?
Yes, sir. Nice to see you. I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, man. Just there. It's a great day. You know, Northeast Ohio. I was out on a boat all day. Got football, and I get to be on this show with my son and his, you know, and my friends, his friends. What else can I ask for?
Definitely.
A victory. We got a victory today. So it's great job with your work, what you do. We sit and we watch it.
Thank you.
Pretty amazing. You know, someone that Joseph went to school with not too long ago, just doing that kind of work and having that kind of success. So great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will say too, the Kai Cenat, Kevin Hart, Drewski stream was by far the best one of the year. Not even close.
I watched that one.
That was pretty good. And then the freshman cipher was pretty damn good. That was badass up there in New York City. But great stuff as always. But yeah, we could stay here all day talk about that. But you guys are killing it. But Josh, I'll let you go first. Roscoe, what's your take on today's game, bud?
I got 2 things to say. Deshaun Watson could have had a different number on, and I would have thought it was a completely different player. That was Leroy Bickerstaff out there. That wasn't Deshaun.
Oh gosh.
But
not the burner account.
Other than that, I mean, he played great. I got nothing bad to say this week. No, where's PJ at? Other than that, the play calling was great. That 1 4th down they went for, and you know they thought they were going to do the sneak again, and they ran it outside. Like I didn't think Stefanski would do something like that, but we're sitting there watching it, and Austin's next to me. I said, if it wouldn't have worked, though, we would have blamed Stefanski on that call.
Yeah,
that's how it always goes. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep, but it was overall a great game. I liked seeing Deshaun play a game start to finish and look good because I have yet to see it.
Was that the most complete game you've seen from him so far?
Yes.
All right.
So,
what would you grade Deshaun?
I would give him a B.
B, solid B. All right. I think we're all B's across the board. Mike, you said B plus. I'm a B. Mike, I know you're a B. So B's across the board. All right, you guys know what you want to add? Any other key plays that stood out to your moments, or you just
the punt? I texted you on that punt. And I was like, damn.
Bubba Ventrone was hype on that pump.
That was crazy.
He was on the sideline dapping up Corey Bojorquez.
Oh, hell yeah. And here, like you guys already said, Amari Cooper, dude. I don't know what is going on there, but
Yeah, we'll get into Amari in a second. That's kind of a big headline.
I saw the
itself.
vision. I saw what Andrew Berry was trying to do. I saw the vision.
Saw the vision. Yeah.
He saw the expiration date. And he
Josh
was
is
like,
the
getting close.
Josh is still the president of the PJ Walker fan club. He will hold that strong forever.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to look good for the Seattle Sea Dragons this year. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
like, he's going to be out
real good.
there. He'll be throwing it to Josh Gordon, dog. Like, it'll be. I'm ready. Dude, the Rock's out there. He runs the UFL now, so he's going to be out there. He's going to be like, you smell what the Rock is cooking? And then PJ Walker comes out there, dude. It's going to be great.
Josh will have a jersey.
I might get a jersey.
I'll buy you one if you'll wear it.
I unironically
I'll
like
hang
the
it right
UFL.
there.
I actually like the UFL.
I will buy you that jersey. That jersey will be bought. Jersey, your take on today's game?
Jersey.
Well, obviously, I didn't get to see it. The funny thing is, this tells you about Northeast Ohio. Is I'm out on Portage Lakes all day, and obviously there's other boats out there. Our boat, the game's on. We got it on. It's on. Every boat that went by, the game's on. You know what I mean? And every house, when you're out there, you see people's patios, and a lot of people have actual like enclosed bars, like down on the water. I mean, it's on. There's parties going on. And then we go to Naughty Vine, and for a little while. And when we're leaving there, I noticed I'm getting on the boat, and I'm just looking at all these other people that are docked. Everybody's on their phones, even wives. You know what I mean? Women, everybody's just watching the Browns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was pretty cool. And I was like, man, it just shows you how it's ingrained in our culture. So, but I didn't get to see. Only thing I got to see was those last two plays when we got back to the house. We docked the boat, and obviously I watched the replay or the highlights with you a little bit ago. But it's just here. It's all complimentary. It starts with play calling was much better. Allowed Watson get a rhythm. The O-line was blocking better. And then he just looked like everybody says more confident. So, and you see, like I've been telling Josh, you just don't lose it. You know what I mean? When you have that kind of ability, you just don't lose it. I mean, the guy's still. I don't even know if I'd say he's in his prime yet as far as his age, but
just turned 29.
Yeah. So,
his prime's like now to like the next 3 years.
Right. Well, here you get some of these guys, man. They played a 40 year. I mean, look at some of these guys.
No, I know. I'm just saying his play style, though, he'll probably cap out at like 34, 35 years old.
Yeah. But here he's just some of the stuff he does, man. That one play where he scrambled out of the pocket and got that ball off of Judy.
On 2nd and 20. Yeah. I think that was the most impressive part. Whereas it was on 2nd and 20 and they converted it.
Yeah, I mean, so just have that confidence to do that. Those are flat. That's the guy. That's who they got in free agency. You know what I mean? The guy that makes those kinds of plays. That's the guy we saw at Clemson. So here, but I'm with Mike. What Mike Matthews said. These penalties. These penalties got to get cleaned up, and they got to get cleaned up fast.
Yeah, and, 13 penalties for 100 yards today.
Yeah.
I was right.
If you don't have those 13 penalties, you're probably not trying to hold them off with, they're probably not one score away. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, they don't have the penalties, and like Josh, you like the one play in the little like the missed formations where they're just the stupid stuff like that. And even like Dustin Hopkins running across the 50-yard line, you would have the ball right there at the 20-yard line, probably would have scored. You'd be up 17-0. You get all the momentum. It's just little things like that. But again, when you don't play in the preseason, like we've been saying all week, I know Coach JB's been saying on his show, we've been watching him and I've been talking all week, messaging about it. It's just not clean football, not clean operation. Guys don't look in shape still. And it's just, I don't get it. But yeah, playing the preseason. You have to practice to play. You have to go through training camp to play. It's like when Peyton Manning was going off on Brandon Ayuk last week in the middle of that game on the Manning cast. Ayuk drops the ball, a wide open pass, drops it right in the end zone. it's like
Brandon
Peyton Manning-
Ayuk even said he's like, I don't want to watch the tape. He's like, I'm not going to watch the tape from week
Yeah,
one.
and it was like Peyton Manning started going off on him up there. He's like, this is what happens when you don't go to training camp, get in shape, get your reps with your quarterback. You rather go piss around with your contract and make a whole fiasco about it, or not practice, or not want to play in the preseason, and go to a high school and get reps with some 40-year-old guy who's not even your quarterback. Yeah, it's a problem across the league. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I start writing.
Another thing I'm gonna echo Jim Tressel. Jim Tressel has always said the punt is the most important play in football, and something needs to be said about these punters. I mean, it's just amazing that they can do what they do. They can just pinpoint a ball like that, put that backspin on, and get it to bounce right out of bounds. It's just not enough is said about what that skilled position.
Well, and you know what the Browns did today? The most three important things, fundamentally, football and offensively, and each drive with a kick, extra point, field goal, punt. If you do that, you'll be pretty good. They ended each drive today with a kick.
Don't forget, we got Corey Bojorquez and Dustin Hopkins, both for a pack of smokes.
Yeah,
Lucky strikes.
Dude. Oh, we straight up gave the Packers a pack of Lucky Strikes for Corey Bojorquez. They were just like, yeah, dude, I guess we need a punter. He looks pretty good. You want to get rid of him?
Strikes and some Rolling Rock, the Mike special.
Oh, no, dude.
We'll
Dustin Hopkins, we gave away some natty light.
How many Rolling Rocks did you go through last week, Mike, in my house?
14. Bottles, not cans.
Dude was holding his head when he left, too. We had to take him home. I'm like, bro, you gotta
14.
Just 14.
Bro, I buy these gallons of water. I drank 3/4 of it, like sitting. I sat down on my couch, drank 3/4 of a gallon of water, and then fell asleep. And then I woke up and I was sober. That's all it took.
You had to go piss. Jeez.
I just let it all out when I woke up. I drank the water, I let it do its thing in my kidneys, and then I'm sober when I wake up.
All right.
And then you get 14 more?
No, the next day was a day of rest. On the 7th day, God gave me the rest. So, right. I gotta respect what the G-man said. So after drinking that much, I had to rest.
Jersey, you're great for Deshaun Watson?
Just in those the replays that I saw, I'd say B.
All right. Solid.
The reason why I went B+ is because I think it was just impressive how better the offense looked in short notice. Because it went from looking like garbage to like a real NFL offense. Like,
I would say B+.
Garbage.
Yeah, you could say B+ too, because, and Mike Matthews, I'll roll over to you after this. How impressive was for him to lock in this week when all that stuff was going on off the field. Now everybody has their own opinion about that, obviously, but to be able to go out there and lock in and still play, I didn't know we were going to get today. To be honest with you, I didn't know if we were going to get a guy, because all week
I didn't know what we were going to get today.
Hell, I came on the
show.
I did a show Tuesday saying if they moved on, I would understand, because you just don't know what's going to happen. How much longer can you piss around with this stuff? You can't. You got to eventually make a move.
He took Jersey's advice on that.
Yeah, but well, no, I mean, it's like to see him go out there today and perform like that, be as mentally focused as he was, locked in, like you said, that first drive, to see him get in the end zone. I mean, I was pretty impressed myself. I don't know what you guys think, Mike. I mean, just to be able to lock in like that, and I mean, it kind of reminded me like because you think of guys in the past, certain athletes, like Kobe Bryant had stuff going on in the Colorado thing. And came out, ran into the game late that day against Denver, and then hit a game winner to win the game. Just went out there and still balled. So
yeah, and as awful as it may sound, I think at this point Deshaun is used to it. Like, whether it's his own fault or the allegations are not a thing, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an investigator, so I'm not going to get too much into that. But just to your point, I think at this point, off the field antics, I think Deshaun is used to this, whether it be injury or what he's got going on elsewhere. I think the off the field kind of off the field drama, if you will, has lost a little bit of its sting. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're Browns fans. You think back to the last time you heard Josh Gordon got in trouble for some drugs. I mean, you just expect that at a certain point, right? Yeah. There's nothing new or shocking about it. And I do think some players play better under pressure. Last week, I was ready to write Deshaun Watson off, and I was almost on that "Where's PJ" club as well.
I
I'm
was
like, "Where's
texting Joe.
Jameis?" I mean, where's Seneca Wallace when you need him? Where's
Oh
Joe
man,
Flacco?
not Seneca
Anybody?
I didn't go.
Wallace.
I ain't going that far.
I mean,
I ain't even
man.
going PJ
You took
far.
me way back. That was like
Yeah.
depression days.
I did.
mean,
I did make a photo on AI of Quinn Ewers in a Browns jersey, though. I did go that far, and I posted it on Twitter.
Here,
I did do that.
I talked about Quinn Ewers, Jackson Dart, all on my show the other day. I'm like, I mean, there's some nice prospects come out in this draft. I mean, if you are looking
Yeah.
for a quarterback, this is the draft. I mean,
Quinn Ewers is the prototypical Kevin Stefanski pick, though. If we did need a quarterback, he's exactly who Kevin Stefanski would pick. Like a more athletic Kirk Cousins is basically what Quinn Ewers is. Like that's the perfect Kevin Stefanski guy.
I think
like
he'll be better than Kirk Cousins.
He's a more athletic Kirk Cousins. Though. That's what he does. But
I'll ask you guys on a
not
scale
on a
on a confidence scale of 1 to 10. I'll go across the board here. How confident are you that Deshaun Watson can get better and maintain this rest of the season from a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm gonna go 8 because I feel like that's the B of numbers. I'm gonna go 8.
All right. And why an 8?
Well, I think this was a good confidence builder, and like, you know, I think near the end of that Dallas game, he was really trying to like take over the game, and he's understanding a little bit more. Like, all he really needs to do is take what the defense is giving him, and I think David Njoku will come back, all that jazz, and they'll clean up the penalties. That'll be fixed the more the offense plays together. So, I'm gonna go 8. And this is the stretch of games to do it. Like, New York is not great. Even though Las Vegas beat the Ravens today, they are also not great. So, and then I think
Commanders.
after that is the Commanders, who are also not great. So this is where you get hot. This is where you get hot and you keep it going, and then you just take that momentum the rest of the season.
Bates?
Yeah, I completely echo that. I think if you don't get some wins now, they're just not going to come later. And I think once we get completely healthy, Chubb comes back, our O-line is completely healthy, we get Conklin back, and Njoku's back and healthy, then we'll have a better understanding. But as of right now, we don't have the easiest schedule ahead of us. I don't see a world where, you know what, I'll remain optimistic because we had a decent performance today. So I'll give him a 7 as far as his ability to keep it up. But once we get into that middle of the season, that's when the real like test is going to begin. And it's for the entire Browns, not just Deshaun. Don't want all the pressure to only be put on him. But that's going to be a tough middle of the season.
To be on him, the defense, the coaching staff, the special teams, the front office.
The defense is going to keep us in games too, is why I'm at an 8. I think the defense will keep us in every game.
Yeah, that's true.
Agreed.
Especially if they play, because guys, let's not forget, they were bad on the road last year. The defense was, I mean, they weren't bad per se, but they weren't as historically good as they were at home. Today, I mean, it wasn't until that big explosive play. I mean, Trevor Lawrence at the half only had 25 passing yards. Like, that was it.
Great.
Yeah. So, like, if our defense can play like that away, there's nothing this team can't do.
Jersey?
Oh, I give Deshaun Watson a 10. And the reason I'm going to say that is that's the Watson. That's the Watson I've always known. That's the Watson I saw at Clemson. And I still, you just don't, again, the dude, he's a winner. And, you know, you talk about the tougher schedule coming. He plays his best in the biggest games. So he's always done that. So I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the coaching in the front office around him. Are they going to coach him properly? You know, he is a professional. I mean, obviously pro athletes don't need coaching like college and high school and youth, but you still need it. You still need the right people around you. You still need to know that the whole organization's is behind you. They're with you. They're going to give you what you need, you know, so that's what I'm more concerned about. I'm not concerned about whether or not Deshaun Watson can keep up his end of the bargain. It's just everything else around him.
Josh?
I wonder if the Bengals will trade T. Higgins in division by the trade deadline. Because if Amari keeps playing like this, I'm ready to give the Bengals a first.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
we'll
even
get to
care.
Amari in a second. Well, yeah, Josh, you're taking.
I'm going with the 5, man. And just like Dan just said, not the PJ Walker thing, the other thing.
Yeah, I'll put it up there.
I said literally to your dad the other day at work, I said he's gonna have the best game ever, and then he's gonna get cut on Monday over all this stuff. That's the only game I have ever seen of him actually performing. He played great, but he didn't play like a Tom Brady. You know,
it wasn't
what I mean?
elite. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was.
I mean,
he was
here,
good. A good stepping stone.
I would like to see him get better, but I think he just has this fuck it mentality. Like he doesn't care anymore. Like all this new stuff's coming up, and I'm just gonna go out there. I'm gonna do my thing, and I haven't sweated anymore. And I think that's why he played so good today. But he's got to keep that. I think it's a 5. It's up in the air.
I actually wrote down a 5 too, because I agree from a football standpoint, he can get back there. I think he can with the right. With Stefanski helped him out more today, getting the layups, getting his rhythm going. A football standpoint, he can, especially when you're comparing to these other quarterbacks today's game. The quarterback play in football is at all time low across the board. Period. So I think he can get back football wise, but I just don't know how this is going to go out the field. It just seems like it just never ends. There's always something around the corner. What's the league think about this? Where's this going to go in court? There's all the legality stuff of it. I mean, we don't really know. This is all fresh. It just seems like whenever it starts to go good, like last year. Now, last year was injury. He has some, took him to about week 5, week 6, had the great game against Arizona, really got a rhythm going. Comes out there against Baltimore. The Browns won a game in Baltimore. They never won in my lifetime growing up. I know, Mike, you're the same thing. Never won in my lifetime a game like that. They'd always lose that game. Guys would have got sacked at the end of the game. He really did a hell of a job willing them to win that game. That second half was 14-14. And then the next day, we come on live that night thinking, man, we got to turn this around. We finally got a glimpse of hope. We got maybe a top 10 guy by the end of the year. Out for the year. So, it just seems like it's just never has been able to end. But I thought today was an encouraging sign because I thought today was, from a football standpoint, I thought it was the best first half of football he's ever played as a Brown. Just from a start of a game, came out flowing. We've never seen him come out flowing like that. It's usually taking him till he's even said it on podcast. I played on my show this week. Back in January, he mentioned it about how he usually starts off games slow, and in the third quarter, fourth quarter, he gets it rolling. Today was the first time I've seen him really just take off from the jump, and I thought the play calling was and committing to the run was key to that. But again, I give it a 5 because I'm like you, Josh. I'm still skeptical about I just don't know with the league. You just don't. It's just very uneasy with a lot of that stuff to me.
Even if I've read and talked to a couple people about it in my circles, and even if they continue to investigate it and want to suspend him, there are ways that Deshaun, with the NFLPA and his own lawyer, can make sure that any sort of disciplinary action wouldn't happen until next season, if any. So he can. There are ways for him to drag it out.
What's the thing in his contract today? Jake Laser reported.
So, if you want to get into the ins and outs of his contract, I read this from the OBR. Essentially, so Deshaun, there's basically a clause in his contract that says if he's suspended again for anything new, that we basically could get out of his contract. But there's also a clause in his previous suspension stating that if any new cases arrive from the year 2020, he can't be suspended on the NFL level again. So the lawyer who represented the previous alleged victims is representing this new case. Yes. And he is adding new charges that weren't. They're basically trying to pin him for something else to get him suspended again. And even there are lawyers who have been talking about this with the OBR a lot, and they have some great articles on it. But essentially, lawyers are like, this is more or less like a law tactic to try and get a settlement before court, because they know Deshaun has the legal right to basically push this thing out. He could push this out probably as long as a year and a half if he actually wants to take it to court, and like the league would have to wait. But I don't know what him and his team are going do, other than that initial response Rusty Harden had on behalf of Deshaun and his legal team. There hasn't really been anything else. But as far as from a league and a legal standpoint, I think it's safe to say if there is any disciplinary action taken by the NFL, it won't be anytime soon. It probably won't even be this season unless criminal charges are filed, which if that was going to happen, it would have happened already.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what happens.
And it's not fun to talk about, but just for your information.
Yeah. There's a lot there we could talk. But anyway, Deshaun Watson has a 78 QBR day with 0 touchdown passes. He has played 30 games better than today in his NFL career. He was average at best and made plays when necessary.
See,
are those games as a Brown?
Good point. That's a really good point, Joe. I know when you said, "Hey, this is the best first half I've ever seen Deshaun Watson play as a Brown." The bar is pretty low.
Yeah,
it's pretty low. Not saying.
I'd say the best first half in terms of he didn't turn the ball over, and he looked sharp. Yeah, he just looked clean. He looked.
And here's the thing: he could be average. I don't really care if he's average or not. Not to cut you off.
I don't expect him to play elite right now.
Yeah, I don't need him to be top 5 Deshaun anymore. Well, that's what the Browns don't need with this defense and this offense.
You're right. I'm not
just be top 15 and we're a contender.
I'm not saying he can't, but the guy, he didn't play for a year in Houston. He comes here, he's suspended 12 games, comes off the street and plays some 6 meaningless games, and then comes back next year, takes him all the way to about week 6, get his rhythm going, breaks his shoulder, he's out for the year again. He's never been able to you can't find a footing. Everybody's expecting this guy that we traded for, but from a football standpoint, no athlete, any sport.
And a new offense, too.
But you can't find any rhythm as an individual, any confidence, anything when that you're just constantly you can't walk off. You cannot walk off the street in any sport and expect to play at an elite level. This is not after laid off that long. Nobody can do it.
I agree with that.
It's completely. Right. I mean, Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete of all time, took 18 months off, came back and looked. He was still Michael Jordan in some ways, but he wasn't full Mike Jordan. He was 45 Mike, smoking cigars, drinking yak up down there in Birmingham, and he had to get in shape that offseason and come back and be the real MJ. But it took him a while. He had to get his rhythm back. It's the same thing with Deshaun. It's going to take him till, I think, going into that Eagles game, which would be week what, Mike? After you got the Giants.
That's week 5.
You got the Giants, and you got the
Giants, Vegas, Manders, then Eagles.
Right. So 3 games before that are you should win at least 2 of those 3 games. Those are 3 games for him to really get a nice rhythm going, get his confidence back. Today was a good stepping stone. Going into that week 5 game at Philly, that's going to be the first real test. We're going to see how good are you now. To me, that's how it's going to be. Just like last year in Baltimore. That was the big test. And he passed that one. I thought the second half, he looked like a guy that willed a team to win, kept his poise, led the guys down the field, and the team rallied and made plays like that. Won a game that they would have never won in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it also helps that the 2 teams that I think are going to be in the division race are 0-2 the AFC.
Yeah, Joe Burrow and the Bengals do not look
good.
Yeah, they don't look impressive. Jamar
That's
Chase,
not. Don't call him Joe Burrow and it's Bo Juro and the Bagels.
No, it's Cody Rhodes. Cody
That's
Rhodes.
Bo Juro and the Bagels. Dude.
It's Cody Rhodes and the Bungles. They're so poor. What were they selling TVs out? They're having like a garage sale out in the front.
Yeah, they were. That was meme to hell, dude.
They're having a garage sale to try to pay Jamar Chase. That's how bad it is down there.
Yeah, there's a popular Bengals Twitter user called the Bangalorian who dresses up as a Mandalorian in Bengals colors, and he bought a TV to try and help pay Jamar Chase. So
and they're not in Ohio; they're in Kentucky. But go ahead.
They are in Kentucky. That's where the airport lands. Lest we forget. And also, man, just to go off the rails a little bit, I feel bad for Lamar Jackson, bro. That offensive line is paper thin right now.
Yeah, that's pretty.
They can't stop a goddamn cold, dude. They look bad. That offensive line is bad. Max Crosby made them look like pedestrian as hell today. I don't know if any of you caught that Vegas Ravens game, but it was sad.
And his receiving core is outside of Zay Flowers. My gosh, it is.
Yeah. I feel bad for Lamar, man. Such a great talent, and that legit. This is a wasted year if they continue to do this bad. You're just wasting an MVP caliber of quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got some developing to do as a passer in some ways in terms of mechanically, but they've never really, as an
They've
organization,
never helped him in that regard, right?
Yeah, they've never really set him up. They've never really. He's just off of raw talent right now. Like he's just that talented. Like he's just a bad dude. But yeah, I agree. I don't know, but I want to go to Amari Cooper real quick. Back to the Browns because Amari Cooper right now is I hate this. I don't want to say the nickname.
Great pass.
He looks like Amari Pooper. All right, he just did not. He just does not look like the Amari Cooper we know. He dropped a wide open pass. Deshaun threw a beautiful ball on third down. Would have kept the drive going.
He dropped 3 today.
Dropped 3 passes. Does not look like he's not getting out of one-on-one coverage like he used to against man-to-man, like the quick slants. He's just not open. They ran the same play last week.
Yeah.
I have it right here still. This is the one from last week, which I broke down. That play where Deshaun tried jamming it to him, and you could see he's not getting the open cut. He's not getting the separation like he used to. It's just not, doesn't seem there much. I don't know. I think the Brandon Ayuk thing, first he wanted paid. They didn't want to pay him, which I don't blame them for not wanting to pay him because he's 30-something years old. And the kind of years of money he wanted, I wouldn't give it to him because once guys get to 32 years receiver position, they kind of fall off.
Especially
and you got to pay other guys down the hatch that are more important. And then not only that, I just think his name being thrown into the trade, that the Browns were going to trade him. The trade was agreed upon, but Ayuk didn't take it. I just think, to me, he's half-hearted. I think it's his last year in a contract. He can bounce after this year. I think he's half-hearted. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. And from his perspective, I mean, I get it. I mean, he thinks he's worth what he's worth, and that he could feel that way. He's been a good pro his whole career. But I just think he just seems half there, half not to me. I think Amari Cooper's much better, especially fundamentally. He's always known as a great route runner, just a great fundamentally sound receiver. He looks very just not good at all around right now. Whoever wants to take it from here, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'll start right quick. But yeah, no, I agree with you. The most impressive thing he did today was cause a PI penalty. It was a PI was called on him, which was for a first down. But to your point, I don't know if it's contract related, because at this point, you're right, it is a contract year, and maybe he was included in the trade talks. But at this point, Amari's not hurting anybody else but Amari. If he wants to get paid and get that contract, he better ball out here if he wants it from us or somebody else, because the receivers, I mean, you guys have all seen it coming out of the draft. Receivers are only getting better. The first round talents at receiver
today.
Yeah, he was cooking. And he's not the only guy. Marv looked great. Roma Dunze's looked good. And every first round wide receiver is just developing quicker and is immediate impact players. And on top of the free agency class. So if I don't think it's contract related. Just to me, it doesn't make sense. Because if Amari wants that money and that's the reason why he's not playing well, then he's only hurting his money. He's not hurting us. He's on his final year with us. If he wants paid from us or elsewhere, he's got to play well. So I don't know if it's age showing. Maybe it's he doesn't really feel comfortable with his place in the offense yet because it still is a new pass game under Ken Dorsey. Maybe it's something he's not used to. I don't know. But I'm hoping he bounces back a little bit because, Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy today were a lot more impressive.
I mean, God forbid this is contract related. If it is, like you said, I mean, if a contract negotiation or trade negotiation could really get you off your game like this, we have bigger fish to fry. Mm-hmm. And so, like you said previously, he's struggling to get the separation. When he finally gets it, if you can't catch that pass afterwards, it means nothing. There was that one last week in Cleveland. He gets the separation, wide open, streaking down the field, about to go right in the end zone, straight through his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Something
I think last week was masked by Deshaun being so bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
That one last week, though, like you said, I mean, that you got to catch that ball.
Yeah,
man.
The telescope is switching though now. Deshaun didn't have a bad game. We got to switch the telescope over someone else.
And last week they tried to give Deshaun some credit on that pass too by saying, "Hey, he stayed in the pocket long enough to take a massive hit. Still delivered a very catchable ball. One of the few he delivered that game.
Yeah,
and it was dropped, and not even dropped like straight through your hands dropped. Easy end zone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, easy touchdown. I apologize. It really is discouraging to see the performance from Amari so far. And like I said before, if this is contract or trade related, there's just a bigger problem. Too old for all that. You have to be a professional, have to show up and do your job, regardless, in order to get another contract. Just common sense.
Well, yeah, and guys are constantly trying to chase the bag now, and that seems to be the number one priority. Brandon Ayuk made this whole stink. I mean, and that was pretty ugly, I thought. But you see it all over now. I mean, it's just not just in sports, but in the kind of the world we live in now. People will, you know, I mean, you're in entertainment, you see all the time, sure. Just guys, people, they get butthurt over certain things. They don't get what they want, and you know, they get in their head. People around them start, you know, I don't know. He just doesn't seem. He just does not seem there mentally to me. You know, like I said, dropping routine plays like that, and just that to me, it's just lack of focus. Jersey.
That's exactly what it is. It is lack of focus, and why is there lack of focus? But I just think that it's just time to move on from him. Probably having Judy there doesn't help either. So it's I don't think. I mean, there's a reason why Dallas got rid of him. Dallas could foresee they got the better years from him, and you know, I'm not even sure that he's worth. And this isn't like being like as a professional, as a receiver in the NFL. I don't even know if he's worth us talking about anymore. I just think it's just time to move on and get a replacement.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely do need a number one guy. We haven't had that in a long time.
Just doesn't. I just doesn't do anything. I don't think he's. We can be a better team if we replace him, if we get the right person. I mean, he's not somebody that's irreplaceable. He's probably just actually due to leave. You know what I mean? So he's just at that point in his career. He's not bringing anything. He's not adding anything to the Cleveland Browns, I don't believe.
Well, in a perfect world, too, if Deshaun plays well this year, stays healthy, you can move forward with him. You got your first round pick back. You see how well, like Mike said, how well these first round receivers are going if you hit on them. There's some good ones in this draft coming out. The kid from Arizona. You got a Mecca coming out from Ohio State. I mean, there's some good ones coming out.
Kid out of Oregon, whose name I can never remember.
Kid out of Oregon. I mean, there's some guys all over the place. So it's a great year to get a receiver in the draft, if you're not looking for a quarterback. So, Josh, what do you think of Amari?
He's washed. I think it, just like Jersey said, why is his mind state like that? I'd like to believe that that's why Deshaun's played so bad. There's some, I don't know if it's like in the locker room or coach talk or whatever, but he's not focused on the game. I mean, it's time to go.
Yeah, it might be time to go. You know what time it is, though, guys? You guys know what time it is? Mike, anybody? You guys know what time it is?
9:40.
The request lines are now open. KGFJ Soul Radio.
The request lines are, Mike.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I know you do. You can call the hotline right now if I can get it up here. 216-532-5550. Again, calling us right now. You can call in, ask us a question, or state your opinion on today's game, and then please, we ask you to hang up the phone. Because when you call in, we're still trying to figure out the software, all this stuff. You won't be able to hear the other guys talking. You'll be able to hear me. So just come up here and maybe state your opinion on today's show. If you got a question for the panel, and then hang up the phone. We appreciate you guys calling. Again, 216-550, 216-532-5550. Call in right now to the hotline show. We'll see if we get any calls. If not, it's all good. But looking ahead, though, Mike, to next week, Anthony, so I'll start with you. What are you looking for next week with Deshaun and just the team in general?
I mean, I'm looking for you're at home versus a very not great team. I mean, the only good thing that the Giants have going for them is their defense is okay. Like, it's not bad, it's not great, but they have a pretty good defensive front. Their DBs aren't great, so I'm looking for Deshaun to continue to take steps. And on defense, I'm just looking for them to make Daniel Jones cry. Like I want him to cry. Like, I think I want it to be so apparent to the Giants fans how they shouldn't have given Daniel Jones 1 red cent that I want to see them on Twitter crying. That's where I'm at.
How much were you? Because I know you're not a Daniel Jones fan, obviously, but you really do not like sunshine down there in
I
Jacksonville.
do not like Trevor Lawrence. No.
How much did you love beating him today? As the
I loved it.
You're the president of the. You're the president of the.
I'm
Trevor
a sort of
Lawrence,
hate club.
hater.
Hate club. Yeah, I'm part of the Trevor Lawrence hate club. So yeah, Trevor Lawrence had about as impressive of a day today, which is not at all as what I expect Daniel Jones to have, since their stats are nearly identical throughout their NFL careers. I expect to be a lot of the same. The only difference is Daniel Jones runs a lot more. But yeah, I love beating sunshine, dude. Just adding freaking coal to that fire, bro. Because like he's okay. He's just a guy. He's just a guy, which is perfect since he plays for the Jags, the just a guy team. Trevor Lawrence is the perfect player for the Jags because he is just a guy.
Man, he will never be in your good graces, Mike. No,
not once.
This guy go out there for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. This dude will still find a way. His hair wasn't right.
Well, dude, just when he won that playoff game, I was like, he threw 5 picks.
Like, right. I heard a report. He farted on the side. You'll find anything to just.
Certified hater, dude.
Certified hater. Bake, what are you looking forward to next week?
I feel like this is a easy win, and it's an easy win at home. With that being said, I want them to go out there and embarrass the Giants. I'm talking about like not just easy enough to, okay, let's put Jameis in now that we're up 30 points at halftime. No, Deshaun needs to stay in and show people that he really has it. And if it's not an easy win, next week we're in for a rough season. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with that. Jersey?
They should here. But they need to come out and stomp these guys right in the ground. You know what I mean? They should stomp these guys right in the ground. So if they don't, here I get a win's a win, but I'm with Mike. They got to come out and you're within one score of the Jags. I get it's on the road. You got your asses kicked in by Dallas. They need to come out and really just stomp the hell out of somebody, and that's I won't be happy, and that's what they do. Yeah, if they better win by. I want them to win by at least 17. You know what I mean? If I just feel like that's what they got to do this early in the season, going in. Getting into that middle of the season where it gets tougher. That's what they got to do. They got to get that kind of victory under the belt, and that's going to be cleaning up the penalties, and then every drive with a kick, which means no turnovers. But O-line doing their job again, play calling, making sense, and then Watson doing what he should be doing. And if that happens, they're gonna win. They're going to win easily against the Giants.
Ross?
I think that this is a game they win their fans back or they lose their fans for the season. Last week when we were at the game, half the stadium emptied out at halftime.
Damn.
And it's just one of those games that's at home. I don't know if you guys ever been to a Browns game, but they have like the third downs stopped at home. It was like 3, and then the next screen that pops up is like 12 first downs by Dallas. It's the game to win the fans back. We're either gonna probably write the season off after this, or we're gonna be back in it. It's that easy.
I agree. I think establishing home field advantage again. Last year you were 8-1 at home. You had the best record in the NFL. You were lights out at home last year. Get that back. You're going against a superior team in the Giants, who are not that good. Who's their quarterback? Daniel Jones. It was Tommy Cutlets last year. He's not there anymore, so they got Daniel Jones back. But they're not that great. I mean, you should, like you guys said, they should run them into the ground at home. The dog pound should be loud, should be electric. Will be nice weather outside. Great day to throw the football as well. So I'm going to ask real quick, what kind of stat line? I'll go first. Well, I want to see from Deshaun Watson next week. I think will be. I could feel comfortable. I think next week, Deshaun Watson, I want to see 230 yards, and I think 3 total touchdowns, either 2 running, 1 in the air. I think 230 and 3 tutties. I think is very feasible next week. Mike.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say like 250, 2 touchdowns. So either one running, 1 through the air. But yeah, no, I think that'd be a pretty good stat line with how I think we're going to continue to rely on the run as well. Yeah, 250 and 2 sounds right.
Big.
You know, I'd love to see 3 through the air, to be honest with you, for Deshaun, but that bars the floor. To be honest, the bar is very low. As long as I see 2 passing touchdowns, I might gain some confidence there. I want the defense to force some turnovers. This is Daniel Jones, who is prone to just being a blind quarterback out there at times. You can at least get a couple interceptions. I'd love to see Myles Garrett get a strip sacker or 2, hopefully. But
they were close on a few today too. Myles had that strip sack. He stripped it. We almost had to recover.
Right.
And we almost had some picks too. MJ dropped that one. I was like, damn, we were close.
Denzel dropped one.
Denzel.
I'd love to see some turnovers forced, as well as 2 through the air for Deshaun.
Jersey.
Well, I think that's what it's going to take, to win by 17 or more. I think that's what it's going to have to. It's going to have to take some. It's going to take 250 plus yards. It's going to take some touchdowns in the air. So, yeah, I mean that's what I want to see, and I don't think it's too much to ask for from that dude. You're going to make $50 million a year in the NFL. That's what you got to be able to do. And there's got to be consistency. That's one thing I just want to see so badly in Cleveland. Just consistent. Just be consistent and beat the teams that you should beat. And some of them beat the living piss out of them. That's how it should be. So, but it's good. It's just not Watson though. It's defense. Here we can count on the defense. You know what I mean? But you really want to see them. I want to see a lot. I want to see like really, really physical football. I mean, I want to see some guys laid out. You know what I mean? I'm just serious. That's just, how I am. I want to see physical football.
Yeah.
I want to see them just punish a team for even coming to Cleveland. You know what I mean? So I want to see that from the defense. I want if penalties cleaned up. I want a great game plan called by the offense. I want the receivers catching the damn balls. I want the running backs to be physical, no hesitation going through the, yeah. I mean, play football the way it's supposed to be played. You know what I mean? So,
Mike,
that's what I want. I just want one game like that.
You want some physical. You don't want a guy that goes out there and coaches your team to play like that guy. I don't know if you can see.
No, I mean, the game's just. I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking.
Oh, Mikey Stacks.
Talk about Mikey Stacks. Coach?
No, I'm just talking. Here, the game's just soft now. It's just soft.
Hey, is that your favorite coach right there?
Big Mikey Stacks, dude.
Can you see? Look at the screen. Can you see who I got on the screen there?
I'm watching a replay of Nico Collins catching a ball.
No, look at the thing here. Is that your favorite coach?
Oh my gosh,
Mikey
that's
Stacks,
what's wrong
dude.
with the NFL. Again, that's what I'm talking about. That's what's wrong. I'm going on a little side tangent, but that's what's wrong with this league.
If he ever gets fired, he'll be a great Zen, like a Zen promoter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think he would be the perfect mascot for Zen nicotine pouches, dude. I would totally buy like triple the amount that I already buy if he were to go out there and just hit me with the 3 milligram wintergreen, spins up, and then he.
It's just I don't know, man. It's just.
Hey, we all said we should buy hip jersey a ticket. On a side note, the Dolphins come here in December, so it's gonna be cold. We know Mike McDaniel's. There's a famous clip of him in New York. I'm cold, complaining, bitching. He's
with his capri pants.
With capri pants. By the way, he's 0-11 in cold games, and no wonder
we got shouldn't say that. We got capri pants. When is it okay to wear capri pants?
In football?
See, I
And
thought it was
all-
weirder that bro was wearing a hoodie in 90
Any
degree
dude. What
weather
the
in
hell is a
Yeah,
Miami.
dude
that's kind of odd too.
wearing
That
capri
was
pants
the
for?
weirdest thing. I was like, how did bro have a hoodie on and he's just like melting out there? You could see it in his like perm and stuff. I was like,
Gosh.
dang, bro.
December 29th, Sunday Night Football, Dolphins in Cleveland. We want to get Jersey down there behind Mike McDaniels. And, you know, it'd really be the MVP of that game for us to seal that victory, getting in his head and reminding him how cold he is.
It's a closer game than I thought it'd be.
Yeah. Roscoe, what stat line you want to see next week?
Here, he needs to throw at least 200. And the way he's been running, I mean, I think 240, 50 rushing yards
Okay.
out of him.
So like a total of 250 yards of
Yeah,
offense from him.
Yeah. In here,
That's fair.
I don't think we need 2 passing touchdowns. We're gonna need at least 1. But
Mhm. Yeah, that's why I said
mean,
2 total. Like if you get 1 rushing too, and 1 passing.
zero turnovers, and the
I agree with that part.
The penalties, man, need to be cut in half at minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
That's
no
the biggest
penalties.
stat line.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing. I want to see clean operation next week. I want to see guys, no penalties. No, you're at home. Man, you should.
It should be
dominate.
easier to operate. Yeah.
This should be the Arizona game at home last year, where you
I know.
you dominated. At the end of the game, Deshaun's throwing some great balls and stuff like that. Go ahead, Jersey.
And I don't know what's happening today, but I want to see third and manageable. That's what I want to see. No more of this third and long. I mean, that's why in the last couple of years, and that's where I'll kind of pin that back on Stefanski. We're one of the worst in the league on third down. So, just we got to do something. I didn't see today. I don't know how we were, but I want to see third and manageable.
There was
You know
a
what I
third
mean?
and 26 today.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back-to-back holding penalties, and
59 yards.
If you can't consistently get yourself in a third, week to week, for the most part, in a third and manageable, you're never going to win anything. That's what the great teams do. You know what I mean? And that just seems to be an issue here. So,
well, yeah, and Foreman got a first down, would have sealed the game. Face mask. He put his hand. He tried stiff arming the guy, and he grabbed him.
His hand got stuck.
And then right after that, holding. And then right after that, holding. Now you're 3rd and 29, and you're out of field goal range. You get a field goal there, you ice the game.
I will say this though, to offensive line's credit, it was someone, and to the refs' credit, was someone different holding every time. They got to spread it around, man. They got to spread that penalties
the next
around.
minute it's Teller, the next minute it's James Hudson.
Yeah, Joel had a surprisingly amount of penalties. He had like 3 penalties today, and I was like, Joel, what you doing, man? I was like,
if you get caught.
That's the biggest thing I want to see next week is I want to see Jack Conklin out there, hopefully at left tackle.
Oh
Please.
God, you're telling
Please.
me. And James Hudson, like he held up just
early
because
Christmas gift.
we were sliding protections left, and Josh Hines Allen, keep forgetting he added Hines to his last name. Josh Hines Allen was still just blowing up James Hudson constantly, dude, just absolutely throwing him to the side. It was just sad to watch.
Yeah,
that cat's so good at football, though. Josh Hines Allen, I can't believe he's still on a 1-year deal with them. It's ridiculous. That dude's a dog.
All right, well. Before we, I will say this though: the Bengals 0-2, Ravens 0-2.
Makes me feel good.
Steelers 2-0. We're 1-1.
They are 2-0, but they've beat nobody so far. Maybe the Falcons become a team, but like the Broncos, I mean, we all agreed they'd win like 3 games this year.
Yeah. Real quick though, forgot you guys. How confident you guys? I know Dan. This is the big thing he wants that we can win the division this year.
I'm pretty confident, especially.
Put a number on it.
Me. Now. 8.5. 8.5. And the only reason I'll never be a 10 with the division because health is always a factor, and that's the most unpredictable thing in sports is health. So that's the 8.5 is probably as high as I'll ever go.
Mate,
I don't think we win the division, to be totally honest with you. And if we do, I think it's on some tiebreaker type situation. I think we're going to be right around there. I hate to say it. The Steelers, like you said, they haven't beat anybody notable, but they don't look bad.
They got an identity with Fields.
Yeah. And this Russ is not even in, so it's like, do you keep?
I leave Russ a weirdo on the sideline in his pads. Leave
Hate
him on
that
his
guy.
pad. He's the only guy I've ever seen inactive in full shoulder pads on the sideline. Like he's, I'm like, what the heck? Get this guy the hell out of here. Keep Fields in there, will you?
I think the Steelers will be there. I also think the Bengals might turn it around. Maybe they come to their senses and pay Jamar, and he might be, running full speed out there. You see, he took
More garage sales. They can afford it.
Yeah, he took a $50 million insurance policy out on himself just in case, that contract thing doesn't happen and he gets hurt.
He was exploding on that sideline today, literally. Throwing his helmet. Yeah, he don't look right either, but go ahead.
I do think maybe Joe Burrow might be able to turn it around. I'm not overly confident in our Browns being by far winning the division. I do think we'll be up there probably number 2, and I think, with the tiebreaker, it could be possible, but I'm giving it maybe a good 5, possibly 6.
All right. I like that. I understand that. Totally. Jersey?
If we, for the most part, can stay healthy and Nick Chubb comes back and is effective, like if he's just 85% of Chubb, I think we can win the division. I just think it's been a long time, obviously, since we've seen him play, and I think we just can't. That's a whole different offense when that cat's out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If he can come out, if he comes out and he's just 85-90% of what he was, I mean,
we're gonna cook him a gas.
Defenses are now afraid of that offense. You know what I mean? Because that guy just lifts the entire offense up. I mean, you see how I get at the house what he does to me. He makes me want to just go jump through a brick wall. You know what I mean? I just love the way that guy plays.
Wow.
And wow. I just want to do wow. And
shout out to Zav.
Absolutely. Can't wait till he comes back Wednesday. I mean, everybody's been missing Zav.
Back on the show soon. Give us some more Sweenies and Spirits and stuff back.
Some energy in that showroom.
Yeah.
But I just think we've kind of forgot about that. And so it'll be interesting if Judy, if they can keep connecting, if Watson and him can have chemistry and he can keep finding Judy, and then you add Chubb back in there.
And David.
Yeah, and David. And then if Conklin comes back, and if they can just stay healthy, they should win the division. I mean, they should win the division
the Browns on paper are a top 3 to 5 talent.
Yeah,
by far.
I mean, so it's just all in that offense. The defense is going to do what they do. So it just depends on that offense. Can their offense be more efficient and better than Steelers? They should, but will they? I don't know. So, but Chubb's that identity.
Yeah,
if he's utilized properly. So,
Roscoe.
You guys aren't gonna like this one. I'm gonna
go with
a 1, dude. We're the Browns. I love the Browns, but I don't think we can do it.
Oh gosh,
why not?
Where's your optimism at?
That's not it.
Here, look at last week. Look at this.
Week 1's a lie. Everybody knows week 1.
Josh,
but last year was supposed to be our year, and we couldn't do it.
What do you mean last year was supposed to be our year? We were the most injured team ever to make the playoffs. That is not the year.
I'm just saying. I don't think we're doing it, dude. I want them to. That's why it's a 1 and not a 0. But I just don't think we can.
Oh my Lord! You sound like a Cleveland fan.
Yeah, I am.
That's why here
like
it's like we
love nothing more, but
we love to lose. We love to lose, and based in our losing, and here negativity breeds negativity in anything. You know what I mean?
Ask me again next week after the game, and I'll
you're week by week.
He'll still be at a 1.
Listen,
we could be 8-1.
Then
last week,
my opinion
for the whole league was an anomaly. Last week was just. Dallas comes on the road and beats the hell out of us, but then they just get crushed today by the Saints.
Yeah, I don't know if New Orleans is good or not yet, which is surprising because they just dropped a 40 bomb on Dallas, but I still don't know what to make of them. They're the weirdest team in the league.
It's all too early. You can't even. I don't care about last week. It's all too early. What in week 8, then we'll start talking. But again, if they can stay healthy, Chubb comes back and he can be effective, and the Browns should win that division. I mean, I just, even with some of the goofy shit that they do, I still think they're going to win the division.
I want them to. Don't take that one as an I don't want them to.
Oh, you got to be optimistic, bud. Oh, my Lord.
Write him up, Joe.
All right.
Write his ass up.
We'll see what he says next week. We get some new data. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
by week.
Give him a GABA.
Right. I mean, the Red Sox won a World Series after almost 100 years. Back when they won it early against over the Yankees. I mean, it's not here. My gosh. Be optimistic. It can
The
happen.
Rangers did it last year, and now they're a bottom 2 team.
A 1 is a 10% chance. That's where I'm at.
All right.
Well, Mike, I'm gonna keep Anthony said I'd keep you up here, but we're gonna wrap this up. Appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys, Mike, you guys, Bake, you guys, you want to say on the way out of here? Anything you want to plug or?
Just a couple things to plug. First off, thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure being up here.
Yeah, always good seeing you.
It's been a while, but I'm happy to be back up here. Make sure you can subscribe to this channel so you can come back next week or whenever you do your next show. Turn on notifications so you can see what's coming up next here. I want to say for anybody in the Northeast Ohio area, or really anybody looking for college media program, I want to shout out the University of Akron. They have 2 programs, ZTV and WZIP, their radio station, that are just in my opinion, world-renowned programs. Truthfully, I would not be where I'm at without heading over to the University of Akron and being a part of those. So if you're over in Akron, or if you're looking for a college or you have a child looking to go to college, interested in media, trying to do something like we're doing right now, send them over to the University of Akron, have them tour the station. Like I said, ZTV and WZIP, and I promise you will not regret it.
Actually, and one of the guys who helped created the logo for this show, Miles Alexander, that I know he went to Akron U as well, and he has incredible skills. He works with them now down at the Nissan store. But shout out to you, Miles. He's got great skills as well. But Akron U as well. But yeah, absolutely very underrated, underappreciated probably media market or just development there. And yeah, for sure. And catch Mike over there, produce it at AMP. Obviously, everybody knows AMP, world famous. Probably got the #1 streamer in the world. Part of him, Kai Sinat, in my opinion, #1 streamer in the world. Those guys are over there killing it. What's that been like? Because last time we talked to you, just started there, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
What's that been like being a part of that, and just all the people I'm sure you met, Kevin Hart, all these guys, and
for sure.
What's that been like?
2.5 years in now. 300 million views from then just on the YouTube channel. God is good. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I really am thankful for the opportunity I've been given over there. Done some really cool stuff over there. Met some great people. Ultimately, a goal of mine, just bringing the people that were with me before up here with me. So
for sure,
definitely some big things coming up in the next couple months. Some stuff, Joe, you and I'll have to chop it up about. But yeah, man, can't complain at all. Like I said, God is good.
Yes, he is. God is good, and glad you're doing well, brother. And I've had a lot of our old friends I talked to recently. I went back to CBCA finally after 10 years recently. Yeah, July went back there and made amends with a lot of people, and everything's good now. So, but obviously I thought of you and the times we had there and how we helped each other through there, and that's where we met. But I came and talked to our buddy Bryce. Shout out to Bryce and
yeah, for sure.
Some other guys. They were asking how you were doing and stuff. I told them you're killing it down there in Atlanta, and so. We'll definitely have you. You obviously come on anytime you want, but we'll definitely come on again, you and I, and you'll be up here on the Sundays whenever you can, and doing the Brown stuff as well. So, yeah, I love you, brother. Appreciate you for coming up tonight, and we'll see you in the next.
Love you too. Thank you, guys.
See you, bro.
Thank you, bro. Good seeing you as always.
Roscoe, any closing words from you?
No, I ain't got nobody to plug. It was nice to be in the presence of a professional journalist. And, and that's all I got. I hopefully my #1 goes up from this week to next week, but
I hope so too, Roscoe. Or else I'll have Schnooks write you up, bro.
He'll get some new data next week.
I'll have him pee in your apple juice, bro. Straight up. Like
All right, love you, Roscoe.
All right,
love you, Roscoe.
Thanks for having me on. Yep.
We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
next time. Mike, I got a question for you to answer. I had to keep you up here for this.
All right, let's do it.
Dan said, has Mike adjusted his 13-4 projection yet?
Nope.
You're still on that.
Yeah.
All right, he's doubling down. So you're doubling down on 13-4.
Yeah. I mean, we're 1-1. We have one loss. That's fine. I just had to move because I said we were going to lose to the Eagles and beat Dallas. Maybe we beat the Eagles and we lost to Dallas. I'm still hooking on to that horse, dude. I still feel it in my bones.
Your bones. Well, Mike, great stream tonight. Browns got a dub. Browns victory Monday tomorrow. I think people should be a lot nicer. The energy just felt better tonight being out. When I got when I got a celebratory ice cream at Dairy Queen.
There you go.
Vanilla with sprinkles. I mean, it just on the spot every time. But it just felt a lot. I was talking to some Browns fans and stuff. The vibes seem to be a lot better now. Everybody seems to be in a better mood. So hopefully that keeps going. In the car business as well, it's a great week when the Browns win. So it makes things better. But Mike, you want to people I need to like, subscribe, and share?
Absolutely. Hey, folks, if you want to see more awesome content like this, you need to like, you need to subscribe, you need to share. And if you're on YouTube, please hit that notification bell to be notified whenever we go live or whenever we release a new video. If you are a fan of the Browns, let us know what you thought of today's game. If you're not a fan of the Browns, we do a ton of just NFL related content as well as mental health content on this channel. Leave us a comment and tell us how your team did today. And give it a share if you like it. It helps us out a lot.
Yeah, leave us a like, subscribe. You guys know what you want to get up your chest, Mike? You got you going to rant about? Are you good? You good?
I'm good today, man. I mean, I'm the only ranting thing I'm gonna have is I really hope Jed or Jack is back next week because this is that long ramp up period. I'm not gonna rant about it because we won today, but I feel like that situation has either been mishandled or the injuries were worse than the front office initially thought, and that's why we didn't bring anybody in. But that's the only weird situation with the Browns, at least. But yeah, if you want to check out my next article on Bryce Young, roundtablesports.net, roundtablesports.net. Again, that's roundtablesports.net. Either tonight or tomorrow. I'm putting on the finishing touches.
I'll put it it'll be in the description of the video. Whenever it goes out, I'll drop it. Michael.
Yeah. Second article in the Is series covering controversial players and or quarterbacks, mostly quarterbacks. And this one's going to be on Bryce Young. But yeah, check out the website if you haven't. Beautiful people out there. Like I said, that we got a ton of merch. I write articles. I think they're pretty half decent, if I don't say so myself. And also, if you're not a fan of the Browns, or even if you are, there is a creator pretty much for every team. I know me and Joseph here are pretty good with the Browns, and we're really we do a lot of NFL content, but we rarely do deep dives on the Carolina Panthers or something. So if that's your bag,
well, and we want to do more journaling through this network we created here. We're going to do more of that down the road. I used to write in the past on Outkick and stuff like that, privately and stuff. So I want to get back. I like writing. I like writing articles and stuff. I think it's
very zen.
Yeah, it is. It's very zen. It's fun. So we are going to expand on this platform down the road. We're going to, Mike will be writing. I'll be writing. Jersey might be writing. Anybody, we'll have some guys.
I want to read a Jersey article. I mean, I want to read the article you write too, but I want to see what Schnooks would cook up.
I might have some professional writers up here too cooking. I'm just saying, we're talking. We'll see. We'll just put it there. We'll see. You never know. I'll tell you off here, but yeah, like, subscribe, share all that good stuff. Go Browns, and
go Browns.
See you guys in the next one. I'm saluting, Mike.
I'm saluting as well. I'm doing that for real, not spiritually.
All right, we'll see you guys next one. We're out of here.
Gone.